On our way into the studio, we just had a very short chat about it, and I just said, I can't recall anyone getting this treatment that Bunting is getting from the officials. And I'm not trying to be dramatic about that. I just can't remember a case where there's so clearly have looked like they've come together and said, all right, no more from this guy.
Yes, and I agree. I 100% agree. But, and I think it was Craig Simpson last night that said, they're going to have to straighten this out, or he's going to have to kind of figure this out before they get into the playoffs. And now they've got 6 games to go, and there's not enough time. There's not enough time for him to, I don't think, change that narrative.
No, but I do like the idea that it's bubbling over now. And so one of the clips we have, Sheldon says that's up to Kyle and the league or something to sort out. I like the idea that hopefully they have a conversation before playoffs about this, because he really did take a good amount of abuse for a guy who got matching penalties.
I got plenty more to say on this subject, but let's go to Sheldon Keefe on our first clip, Sammy, of Michael Bunting.
Yep.
I mean, based on the way that he's been officiated of late, no, I'm not surprised at all. So that's part of it. But, it's Bunting's got to do his best to stay on the line. And in terms of how he's been officiated, Kyle will deal with that with the league.
So I don't know who he would talk to or how you would go about doing that. But if you're Kyle, I presume you reach out to whoever and you send along the video clips and you go, okay.
Oh, listen, their office is right upstairs. There's no sending anything. You march right upstairs and you talk to the hockey department of officiating. They're right upstairs in the office.
Yeah. Is that right? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And say, what are we doing here?
Well,
it's okay.
Listen, to Sheldon's point, you got to let the guys above you fight for that with the league. But there's going to be a pushback on the league's part, saying that this guy, he tries to officiate for us.
That's what it is, isn't it?
100%. It's like,
it's not the
I'm wearing the uniform. Yeah. You don't get to call the penalties. And that's the biggest beef. Well, there's a couple, but that's, to me, is the biggest beef.
Yeah.
And I think last night, guys, was a prime example of that little that little sequence of events when he hit Jake Wallman.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
A great hit, by the way. Maybe
yeah, it's a great hit. It would be a hit that would piss me off.
Because you'd moved the puck already.
I'm facing up ice.
Yeah.
I follow through on my pass.
Thought Bunting got above him enough.
I'm not calling the late hit or the hit late, but the puck's gone, and now you blindside me.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying it's a blindsided hit. There's no penalties for blindsiding.
But it's coming from an angle.
If you have a legal check, you can blindside a body check and be
legal. Just because it's technically legal doesn't mean I have to like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now the puck's gone and you get a cheap one on me because I've passed the puck through. So if I'm Wallman now, I'm going back at you. Mm-hmm. And that's the first cross check, right?
And that's where you should get the retaliation or the penalty. Guy throws a clean hit, you throw a cross check, see you later.
This is my interpretation now.
Yeah.
Okay. First cross check comes in, and the official goes, yeah,
right,
that one's for a little bit of that blind side there on him. So we'll just wash it, and we'll move on. This is where now his purpose now is to follow up on the fact that I've got Wallman pissed off. So I'm going to now bait him into the second cross check, right? And he doesn't turn around on the first cross check and deal with it man to man, eye to eye, and saying, listen, right? I'm not going to have this. He waits for the second one and then falls even harder to draw a second cross check that was never there for the first cross check. And I think there's a part of the officiating team that goes, listen, you gave him a bit of a suspect cheap shot that I didn't feel that was worthy for a penalty, but go deal with him. Go deal with him.
Yeah.
You made your bed. You lie in it.
Is that the ref's job? Is it his job to decide if enough frontier justice has been handed out?
Yeah, they do it.
Oh, I know they do it.
They do it.
But I think if you're listening to this and you're someone who hadn't played, you'd say, call the damn penalties. If it's a penalty, call the penalty. I'm with you.
Yeah.
In both cases, I think the refs were right. I just don't think they can do that. Because if every time you're interpreting intentions the way you think.
No. Not every time. Just
But they are with Bunting now.
Bunting's interpretation. Everyone else has a different book.
For sure.
Everybody goes by
And he
different
shouldn't,
rules.
though, or should he?
Yeah, I like it. Because there's
The 10 was funny because it's no one else in the league gets that penalty.
We know
and it's
there's,
like, it was a
we
good
know
10,
there's
though.
some guys that are more stand-up than others, that will fight their own battles, that will fight for their own space, that will answer the bell, and they don't feel he's one of them. The biggest reason why he doesn't get the call is because the officials don't respect him and the way he plays and the way he looks at the official for calls.
Yep.
He snaps his head back. He tries to get secondary calls. They don't like any of it. So they just leave him alone.